So, um, when I look at creation, and I look at, we can get into the whole evolutionistic thought of everything evolved. Well, let's take a look at that. Is that an absolute truth? First of all, evolution is a theory; it's not a fact. Um, Evolution flies in the face of facts, namely the laws of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics says that energy is neither created nor destroyed, but it's constant. So if evolutionists, who also happen to be Big Bang theorists, um, say that there was nothing, and then from nothing there was this huge explosion which produced all the known order in the universe, that takes a lot of faith. That takes a larger step of faith into believing that there's a God who created everything. Let me give you some examples. When I look at the solar system, I see a sun and 9 planets. Some scientists say 10 or 11, but when I was in school, there was 9. I know what those 9 are, so we'll stick with 9. Um, a sun with 9 planets revolving around it. Then I look into a microscope and look at an atom, and I see the same design. I see a nucleus, I see protons, neutrons, I see bodies revolving around a center, okay? And I say, that can't be by accident. I also think about some other things. I think about, has a terrorist bomb ever produced order? When the Twin Towers came down, there was a lot of debris. There was paper fluttering through the air, a lot of dust and ash. And I have to ask, was there ever, when that happened, did a novel accidentally get put together? Or a dictionary? Or any book? I don't know, it could have been a comic book. No. If I uh, take all the parts to an automobile and stick them in my garage and wait a million years, will I come back and find an automobile in there? No, I won't. Find rusted parts, and probably not even rusted parts anymore. So the fact of the matter is that chaos does not produce order. Um, you'll never find any type of explosion that will ever produce anything other than disarray and chaos. Yet I'm expected and asked to believe, and kids are taught in school, that one explosion in history past produced all the known order in the universe. Let's kind of look at that, and we'll jump ahead. Um, let's say that there was this explosion, okay, and it flies in the face of the first law of thermodynamics, but let's look at it. Let's say that there was, for the sake of argument. That explosion produced the right mix to create the sun, which positioned Earth exactly where it needed to be for life. It wasn't too close to the sun because things would burn up. It wasn't too far from the sun so that things would freeze, but positioned exactly in that orbit. On top of it, that exact positioning produced the exact mixture in the atmosphere needed to produce life. And there was this primordial ooze that had the exact mixture of amino acids and proteins that came together and produced the first single-celled organism. Now I look at that and I say, okay, that's a lot of coincidence up to that point. But let's say it happened. In order for evolution to work, it also says that there needs to be what's called the survival of the fittest. Species survive based on how fit they are. So that at some point that single-celled organism needed to split and create multiple celled organisms. At what point did it decide to do that? Now, we've already had scientists look at single-celled organisms, and they say they're more complex than New York City. So that's already that's pretty complex. I mean, yet at some point it decided to do that. Okay. At what point did it become a fish? Because I'm kind of jumping ahead here. And at what point did the fish jump out of the water and say, oh, I need lungs? We know that it wouldn't have grown lungs in the water because it would have drowned. And we know that if the fish jumped out of the water onto the land and grew lungs, it would have died because it would have suffocated, not getting air in its gills. So at some point, it morphed and became a frog. developing these lungs. And at some point, that frog morphed and became a snake, which became a chicken, which became an ape, which became man. Now, let's just look at the snake. And let's say that the species developed a leg. Okay. It stands to reason that being survival of the fittest, it would no longer be able to move to get away from things, and so the other snakes would have killed it. That's how survival of the fittest works. When something is different in a group, the group tends to attack it and kill it. But yet we're expected to believe that. Now, I'm really simplifying things a lot here, but the crux of the matter is this, that a whole lot of faith is expected. We're expected to have a whole lot of faith in things that just don't seem to make sense. There's not a missing link in the chain. The whole chain is missing. We can't find any transitional forms in the fossil record that support any of this. We've had people say that that certain species of fish have been extinct, and then we've found them, and they're not extinct. So they're alive today, and we've realized that they are fish. They're not fish amphibians. They're not fish reptile. They are fish. So, we have to look at that and have to say, okay, does it take me more of a step of faith to believe in evolution or intelligent design? And I've already said that if you look at the solar system and you look at the atom, you see uniformity. All right? If I look at a picture, I know there was a painter. If I look at a building, I know there was a builder. When I look at creation, I know there was a creator. So these are some of the things that I've had to ponder in my search for what is truth. And the conclusion I came to is that things were intelligently designed. And so what I wanted to find out was, okay, if things are intelligently designed, who is the designer? I want to get to know this person, this man, this God, if it's he, she, it, who is God? So what I want to do is, like I said, I wanted to build a foundation. I think the foundation is pretty strong because it's built on truth. Now we need to discover together what is truth. Okay? Can I pray to nature like Wiccans may? They believe in Mother Earth, and I know that their faith and their religion is pretty complex. Do I believe in an all-distant God like Allah? Do I believe in what the Hindus believe, that there is this heaven, this everything is recycled until you reach nirvana, and you keep coming back over and over and over. I mean, if that's the case, then I've done a whole lot of bad in my life, and I might come back the next time as a flea. There doesn't seem to be any end to that. And I don't know of any human beings except for Jesus Christ who lived a sinless, perfect life. So people must keep coming back over and over and over again. So these are some of the things that I've pondered, and I've searched out truth. And I was told by, I grew up a Roman Catholic, and I was told by a parish priest one time that that's just the way it is. That wasn't good enough for me. I need truth. I need answers. And God gives us those answers. So what I want to do, I presented a challenge the last time, and said that, hey, challenge me on my faith, challenge me on my beliefs. I've gotten a couple of responses, and I appreciate that, and I thank you. Keep them coming. I'm going to continue to present my facts, my truth, which I believe is the absolute truth, and I want you to challenge me. And let's see if together we can discover things and build on that. And I thank you for watching, and God bless.